G'day. Today I want to show you how to write linking notes in a paper-based Zettelkasten. Linking notes are really important for learning because you might have an individual card. It might be a quote, it might be your own thoughts, it might be an example of something. And then underneath you might have a number of different links, things that become apparent to you. But it's important to write linking notes to tell yourself as you're discovering things later on in your Zettelkasten or when you're writing something, why that link was important, what it was that you wanted to do with that information, or what did you learn from the information that you've written on the card. For me, they're really important because I don't always write my notes in my own words. I prefer to just write the quote and then make sure I've got the bibliography on the back so I know that it's not mine. And so here you can see a picture of a primary card that I've chosen from my Zettelkasten. It's pretty early on. It's number 6 for me, although the highest link number is 109, so there's lots of things that have linked back to this one. And so you can see then as it flows out, that's all the cards that I've decided link to that primary card number 6. So there's a couple of different things. One column is these are examples of that concept on the primary card in action. Then the next one are some implications from that. So using that principle and applying it to a similar topic area. And then there's one there which is an application of this principle to the real world, a real life situation that I'd come across. And then I also noticed down the side that this card was also part of an outline card that I'd written. I've got another video on that. So that's the kind of links that I've got there. This next picture is that you can see there how I've put blank cards on top. You don't have to do it like that. I'm using this to demonstrate to you clearly. These are cards where I noticed that the link didn't make sense if I was just reading it for the first time. So this is pretty early on in my Zettelkasten, so I still kind of remember why I linked that. But I can imagine that in a year or so, if I discover these cards, I might have forgotten. So what I want to do is write a linking card. So for each of these, I'm going to write down why that link was important. In this situation, for each of these, I learnt something. I made a connection that I kind of knew but hadn't seen before, but it's important for me to remember. So I'm going to write what it was that I learnt on these cards. And then I'll use this format for a linking card. So you can see it up here. I'll have the card number like normal. So you've got a couple of options with linking cards for card numbers. You could make them a new primary card and just put them into the back of however you're storing your permanent notes. Or you could make it subordinate to either one of the links. In this situation, I'm going to make it subordinate to the primary card because that's the thing that I'm learning about. But it's really up to you which way you do it. So you put the title on. Once you've got the card number, you put a title because the note still needs to be atomistic and autonomous. The link still needs to make sense by itself because you're learning something. It's a new thing. So you put a title on it and then the date off to the side because I like to know when I wrote something so that I can go back and check what was happening at that time. I can see if there's been a big gap between realizations or things that I've learnt. And then because it's a linking card, I'm going to make really clear what the link is. So I'm going to write a link from card 6 to card whatever it is. That way I can go back easily and check those two cards, check out some more links that I've got on them. And obviously this linking card can now link to other things as well, separately to its link between these two primary cards. And then obviously down the bottom, there's still room for where you'd put the links normally and write them in. So there's a link card. Now I have 2 pieces of information and a reason why that information is important for me to discover down the track.